places. I know she don't know what to do, so I ain't gonna be that guy. Say I ain't gonna fool this time. Say I.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Back here with another video. So yeah, this is going to be pretty mellow. I just want to do a little kind of life update here in the last couple months. Just got a new spot out in Canggu here for the weekend, so just chilling here. Weather's pretty bipolar, which is a little odd for the dry season supposedly, but yeah, still life in paradise. So get into the next clip and we'll catch up. All right, we're back in the Bali Chronicles here. So yeah, pretty cool last couple months actually. It's mostly just been getting up to speed, kind of the new job setup, new kind of step in the career, which has been cool, just getting back to the e-com side of things. And yeah, honestly been really interesting. A lot of actually challenges the last couple months being out here. Just I think, starting back career full time, going from, kind of soul-based entrepreneurship full time back into, paying the bills and growing the income. And that part's been cool, but, tripled my income last 90 days, which has been awesome. And yeah, overall health has been pretty good. Still getting into workouts, doing all those sorts of things. And yeah, so this video is going to be pretty mellow. Just going to be, sitting around here and just kind of chatting, kind of based on, key takeaways and stuff like that. What's been going on the last, probably 2-3 months. So I filmed a lot of the first batch of YouTube videos, pretty much in bulk, and then was just kind of dropping them each week, which was cool, just to avoid, posting one video and then not posting again for 6 years. So that worked out a little bit better. But my main goal with those videos, those first batch was, just kind of getting used to, talking to the camera and just kind of, doing this again. It's always kind of a weird, I think, setup at the beginning. But yeah, so, I'm happy at least I was able to get some videos out. Definitely striving for, volume, not perfection, which is a challenge in of itself. But I think that's been really, really good. So, I talked about this in last videos as well, kind of in some rambles, but, whatever you want to do in life, outside of whatever your career is, I think it's so important just to, start doing it, like just start chipping away, like even for, these videos and whether you want to start any sort of creative venture or just, business or whatever, there is so much time in a day when you use it, but then it's also just so easy to, get caught up in life. And all of a sudden just years are going by. Like I just turned 29, I think maybe a couple months ago now, in late April. And man, the last 3 years have just gone by so fast. And it's crazy. Like, I've just been so head down, on the e-com stuff, really just growing that skill set and that avenue in my life. But it's really kind of come at the cost, I think, of kind of a lot of mental health and just kind of stuff that I've talked about in previous videos. So coming out to Bali was just kind of a big piece of, getting back in touch with myself and really kind of getting to know myself again, outside of just work and material stuff. And, back in Canada, I just realized I was playing this game, Naval Ravikant talks about this, but it's what games are you playing in life? Are you playing a prestige game, a status game, a wealth game? And is that the right game that you actually want to be playing, or are you getting caught up in, playing someone else's game where when you win, you don't really win? And he calls it, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So I love that because, I think part of the Western lifestyle, I've had some really, really good chats with, other guys out here, kind of been on the same path from all parts of the world, but, you just start, earning income and getting all this material stuff you've always wanted. And then, you summit that mountain, whether it's, the career thing or, just some not status, material, some sort of material goal that you've always had. And then, it's great for a couple months and then it kind of wears off. It becomes normal again. Dopamine wears off and you're just like, man, I just, put my head down for 2 years just to get, this stuff. And, coming back out to Bali and just, moving abroad in general was a big piece of me just getting back to authenticity, really getting back to living life. And, life is just so fleeting where, I love this quote. I don't know if it's someone else probably said it, but it just came up, mentally in my head a couple weeks ago, but it's tomorrow is today. I thought about that. I want to get that actually as a tattoo on my inner arm or something so I can see that. But whatever you're putting off for tomorrow is literally today. You can put things off for so many years And, today just goes, and then tomorrow starts and it's the same thing. And before you realize it, years passed, and you may not be doing the thing that, you told yourself you were going to do, or whatever it is. So it's, if there's anything you've been putting off, whether it's, create a project, getting into some sort of new skill set, just changing your life in kind of any way, any capacity, any habit, really just knowing that, like, tomorrow's today, like, whatever you were, is on the list, like, do it right now, like, just start, 5 minutes, like, literally 5 minutes. And, a big piece of these videos, like, I just got caught back up in the work stuff last couple months, and it's obviously good, really, back to earning really, really solid income again, which is great, affords me being in this really, really cool Airbnb right now. But it's easy to get caught up in that, and actually, especially in the e-com space, anything working online, before you know it, you're locked in your same room, you're behind the laptop for like days on end. So that was definitely me. Missed some workouts, missed some meals, belly got a little bit bigger, and a little bit of a startup kind of push, getting up to speed in the new role and stuff like that, but kind of mellowing out now and just, using it to my advantage and just getting back to gratitude. So that's actually a huge, huge one that I wanted to kind of touch base on. I actually just filmed another video on that, a little bit of a kind of a short clip this time. But yeah, getting back to gratitude, like when you're that high performer or high achiever and, you're just constantly go, go, go and have these big goals, it's super, super, easy, I think, to just get caught up where the second you're achieving something, you're just looking at the next thing. Like even for me in the gym, like my strength is probably, pretty close to, maybe not where it's been all time high, but like last 6 months I probably put like 20% on all my key lifts, and it just seems not good enough. Like now I'm just thinking, okay, now I want to bench, 350 or 400 or, squat 350, 400, whatever it is. And and it's just like, dude, like you're crushing it. Like, you get results, you're getting in better shape and all this stuff. And I was just talking actually to my buddy, sent me a voice note the other day back in Canada, and he's done really, really well, making, 50, 60K a month now in his business. And recently got into golf, and I think maybe he's been in golf for like, I don't know, a year. And he was playing a course with a friend, and he just shot his best score ever, 81. I know nothing about real golf, but I heard 81 is supposedly good. But his friend shot a 71, and he was just saying, like, man, like, just came back from that, was still just dissatisfied. You know what I mean? Even though, 6 months ago he's probably shooting 100. So, made massive, massive gains, but it just isn't good enough. And I was sharing this lesson that really just kind of hit me between the eyes the last like month, and it's just like getting back to gratitude. Like, I've tripled my income last 90 days, I'm getting in really, really good shape. I'm, living abroad here in Bali. I'm in these beautiful, beautiful places. My body, I'm breathing. I can do whatever I want. I just booked an epic trip back to Canada, just a mountain bike, like dream Airbnb at the base of the mountains, end of summer, building up a brand new bike actually just for that trip. And it's like, man, like that's fucking sick. Like I always wanted to do that. And I was just getting back, like I was just so dissatisfied, like getting caught up in this work stuff again, and I just more, and just not realizing how far you've actually come. And it's crazy, like if it's 10 grand, 100 grand, a million, a billion, whatever it is, there's always going to be more. You're always going to be, whether it's a relationship or a new skill, and you're reaching these new heights and new levels, there's always going to be another level. But really taking the time to just realize, like, man, like you're making huge progress, you know what I mean? And just being grateful that you can actually progress at something. Like for me in the gym, the fact that I can actually go and my body is, the vessel that, carries me in these life adventures and, brings me to places like Bali right now. I mean, the fact I'm breathing, the fact I'm, got 4 limbs and I'm injury free, and, I can even progress. I can even go to this sick gym. I can afford, healthy food and all that stuff. Like just being grateful to be able to be there. You know what I mean? And same thing with the income, like just being able to work remote and, make money and invest in things that interest me, and have the time to, still do stuff like this and, chill during the day and all these things. And it's like crazy. So that I was just in a big rut actually, like maybe about a week ago. I was just so dissatisfied, and I was causing a lot of frustration because of that dissatisfaction. And just realized, like, dude, like 3 months ago, like you're ripping, like this is, you're making really, really good progress. And I got back to gratitude. I just made a huge list of just all these things that I'm just so grateful for. Being in Bali right now, my body being healthy, really enjoying what I'm doing for work, having the time to do these creative, endeavors like progressing, film these videos and stuff like that, and immediately I just felt night and day difference, and all of a sudden my life started to flow again. New doors open, just felt way clearer walking down the street, even just having casual conversations with people, and all that was just gratitude. And it's whatever level you're at, I think just coming from a place of gratitude always brings more, versus coming from a place of dissatisfaction. No matter what you achieve, it's never going to be enough. And the reality transurfing principles talk about this. I just ran back that audiobook again. I've been doing beach walks, just listening to that, burning it through. I'll link that Spotify audio tape below this video. But a big part of it was just the world mirror. So the world reflects back to us what we put into the mirror, and that's why so much of ourselves starts with us. You know what I mean? So if you're dissatisfied, your world is going to reflect that dissatisfaction back to you. So it's going to provide challenges and bottlenecks and these things that bring up feelings of more dissatisfaction, versus if you're grateful and you come from this place of gratitude, all of a sudden your world is going to start bringing you more things to be grateful of. Even right now I'm getting absolutely murdered by mosquitoes, but loving it. You know what I mean? Just absolutely loving it. And as soon as I got back to that place of gratitude, everything's just, finally just feels like, water going downhill now. It just feels good again. So, really psyched to be back in these videos. Hop into another clip in a sec here. And, let's keep it going. All right, back indoors here, catching the AC. But, Sunday here today, going to hit the gym in a bit, heading out for dinner tonight too, so that'll be cool. But, in a cool Airbnb, I've decided to just start investing more in like these weekend trips, just coming to a new space and just kind of, letting the muse kind of come in, getting these creative downloads and just having a new space to kind of facilitate just change and newness. And I think that's another big lesson I've learned recently in Bali, and just kind of, realized this too in past times of my life. But setting yourself up, I think, for newness, just allowing, novelty into your life is just such a key piece of, moving forward and just, getting into new thoughts, new ideas, new things, meeting new people. And a lot of that just comes down to, just novelty. You know what I mean? So if you're in the exact same space, if you're around the same people, if you go to the same places every day at the same time, if you're working in the same spot, a lot of times that just creates stagnant kind of thought loops. So you're going to think the same thoughts, you're going to, feel the same kind of feelings, no matter what you're working on, and no matter kind of what your habits are. If your environment isn't really changing with your identity, it's really tough to, get long-term progress in those things. But vice versa, you change your environment, you change the people you're around, the music you're listening to, the books you're reading, YouTube videos you're watching, places you are, countries you're in, all of these provide massive kind of signal to your nervous system, everything in your body, just to evolve and just to, change. And I've definitely learned that a lot. I think part of, feeling stagnant the last couple of months, obviously just, working a little bit more and having a little bit more of a routine when it comes to the work stuff. But I was just going to the same spots and also just kind of getting stuck in, the same kind of, thinking patterns. And I realized, man, might as well change it up. So going to start investing in just some Airbnbs, some cool spots, feel inspired, go to on the weekends, which is cool. And heading to Uluwatu next weekend as well. So we'll probably shoot some stuff up there, which would be cool. But so that's kind of the general life update, whatever it's called. But stay tuned. We get some new videos on the way, going like shorter form, a little bit more kind of intentional, a little bit more to the point, which I think will be cool. Try those out. But subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for some next stuff. And what's going on in your life? Would love to hear kind of, who's watching this, who's listening, what are you getting out of it? What do you want to, see here, learn whatever. But pretty psyched to be back on the content creation bandwagon, content creation kind of horse right now. And, feeling grateful and healthy and just excited to, keep progressing in life and just, keeping my mindset sharp and just, putting myself in a position where, the universe can keep meeting me halfway. I think it's just so important. So hope everyone watching this is doing well. Appreciate you if you made it all the way through this video. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Talk soon. All right. Just kidding. Video's not over yet. I actually had another kind of download I wanted to share. AI stuff has just been going so nuts lately, and I've been jamming a ton with the AI tools, both for e-commerce and daily life. And yeah, there's just new tools coming out pretty much daily now, and ChatGPT, the newer versions are just getting so good. I'm playing around more with Claude, and Google Gemini as well, actually. So yeah, I mean, if you're haven't started playing around more with the AI tools, just do it. Like, a lot of people I think get stuck on the prompts, but when you're speaking to these tools just conversationally, so, if you have an employee, if you have, if you're just prompting it, just, talk very conversationally to it. Just if you want something done and you were instructing someone else how to do it, going through the AI process is very similar to that. It's been really essential. Like, I know a lot of people are using it for kind of like therapy or just like a life assistant. So anytime you have a kind of fork in the road, or just kind of anything you want a second opinion in a life, you can just prompt it to be your kind of life mentor, leverage therapy principles, and just leverage kind of abundance principles, and just ask it to kind of give you advice, and go through that way is really cool. Just honestly, like, just the perspective shift. So much of, I think so many people don't have the people in their life that they can just go and, have these conversations, or, be around, inspiring people or abundant people. And I think, that's a reason I've always loved YouTube, as more kind of an introvert, watching all of these videos from these people feels like, you're their buddy, and you're just, learning from what they're learning from. And AI has just been that on steroids for me, whether it's, just, evolving my perspective, or just, allowing things to be seen differently, give me something to think about, or, even just kind of, call me out for, a certain, way of thinking, I think is really cool. On the work side, been really useful. In terms of, Claude, both GPT and Claude, you can upload documents and kind of build, GPTs. Claude, you can also upload kind of more in-depth documents, really train the AI to do certain things. So I've been playing around a lot more with that on the e-commerce side, building, scalable ad angles and stuff like that to really, get e-com brands from, the 7 to 8 figure level, which is kind of my specialty, helping brands go from, 5-6 figure months to 7 and 8 figure months. Mostly 7 figure months. Haven't hit an 8 figure month for a client yet, but hopefully that's coming up soon. And super cool. So if you haven't played around with the AI tools, just start jamming with them, just very conversationally, like, ask it the dumbest questions, and then just try and give it context as much as you can, and you'll be amazed just how, influential a lot of those tools are. Using GPT, for everything now. Like, if I want to know where a place is, or if I want to know, what to eat, or, physique goal, if my body's carrying too much water, I'll, GPT some stuff, and I use it for everything now. So if you haven't done that, check that out. The other game-changing one, a lot of people don't know about this, but you still can't drop in video links such as YouTube videos into GPT. I don't think you can to Claude either. I can't read the video files, but a huge unlock on Google Gemini. I learned this from one of my kind of, guys that I really enjoy watching, and inspired to be one day like, is Julian Petrulis. And he was talking about Google Gemini. The reason they have a bit of a moat with their product is because they own YouTube. It's part of the Google ecosystem. You can drop in video links, YouTube video links to Google Gemini, and it can provide really in-depth summaries, and you can actually conversationally learn from videos without watching them. So for me, that's been huge, because there's always so many videos, whether it's a 2-hour podcast, a half-hour, YouTube video about YouTube, or about e-commerce, or, new best practices on something, or, general life advice, or like anything. It would take hours and hours and hours to watch all of these YouTube videos, and I kept saving a bunch of stuff to my watch later playlist. And I realized with Google Gemini, I just started doing this probably about maybe a month ago. Drop in the link and then ask it for a real detailed explanation of the video, a summary, and the amount of things that I've gotten off of that is crazy. So I'm able to digest, 10, 20, 30 hours of YouTube content in kind of this educational capacity in minutes. And then, it gives you timestamps for all the key takeaways. So if you're, summarizing a 2-hour podcast or a half-hour, educational video, if there is one piece of that video that you want to learn more from, you can just jump to the timestamp about, whatever the key thing is. So check that out. Huge unlock. And stoked. again, yeah, really, really stoked to just, be in a really, really good mindset right now, back to it, and, film these videos. So again, I'm just growing so much in life, and I love growing. I think it's just one of the coolest parts about being a human is the fact we can, change ourselves, change our environment, and just, we can have a vision and actually manifest it, which is, pretty insane. Like a panda bear can't do that. So, pretty cool to be human. Going to be sharing more of kind of the tools I'm using to grow, income, mindset, relationships, well-being, perspective, everything like that. And stay tuned for that. Let me know what you got from this video, and see you in the next one. Hope you guys are doing well. Talk soon.
Ain't gonna be that good. Say hi. Ain't gonna fool